Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
This meeting is being live.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Anyone with access to live stream can watch.
Om Ajnanatimidandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishnapristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namini. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Namo Brahmana Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha Jagadhitaya Krishnaya Govindaya Te Namaha. Sapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Bhanasute Devi Pranamami Haripriya. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. Panchakalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
My voice is cracking. Is it?
Hare Krishna.
No, it is
Hare
fine.
Krishna.
Fine, right? I have some message in chat. Is it fine for all of you?
Yes.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
very much.
Yes.
Okay. Start. Okay. Hare Krishna. So I welcome everyone once again. A hearty welcome to all of you to understand Gita in 18 days, to understand Bhagavad-Gita in 18 days. So I welcome you on behalf of Sri Sri Radha Govind ISKCON Mangaluru and our temple president, His Grace Namanishta Das Prabhuji. Myself, Sarita. So I'll be the coordinator and I'll be I'll be the one who will be taking you through this journey of 18 days. Okay. So I wish you all the very best. And I hope, I want you all, please do continue till the 18 days. Don't skip in the middle, because you're going to get many of best lessons which we can really apply in our lives. So with that, I will let's start today's class. So let's pay our obeisances to Sri Radha Govind. So these are deities, ISKCON Mangaluru. Okay, so first question, what does Bhagavad-Gita mean? So I'll keep you all, or you can post in the chat. What does Bhagavad-Gita mean? What does Bhagavad-Gita mean? Yes, you can post your answers in the chat box. Yes, Hindu holy book. Okay, Raj Vidar says Krishna's enlightenment to Arjuna on the battlefield. Okay. Song or words of God. Yes, Aarti Menon Mataji. And book on God. Yes. Way of life. So everything is right? It's difficult to define in one word. So basically, the term, if we say what is Bhagavad Gita, it is defined like Bhagavat plus Gita. So Bhagavat means Bhagavan, derived from Bhagavan. So, and Gita is the song. So song of God, basically because it is, the Bhagavad Gita is sung by God. So that is why it is called as Bhagavad Gita. It is in a kind of a song. It has a particular meters. It goes like a song, right? So that is why it is called as Bhagavad Gita. So whenever there is a problem in life, so whom do we go to? We go to Lord, right? When there is like something we cannot solve ourselves, then we pray to God. Oh Lord, please talk to me or please help me. Then that is where Krishna has given us this Bhagavad Gita. So this Bhagavad Gita has solution to all the problems. How come? Because this material world is created by the Lord. So just like this is Bhagavad Gita is like a manual. So just like if any appliances we take home, it comes with a manual, right? So that whatever we have any technical issues, we go through that manual and we understand that, oh, this is the problem. So similarly, who has created this world? Krishna, right? The God has created this world. So he knows what is the problems or how to live in this world. So whatever we have problem in life, the solution is there in Bhagavad Gita. So we just have to look into it. So we see some Gita Mahatma. Gita Shastramidam Punyam Yaf Patet Prayata Puman Vishnu Padamavapnoti Bhayashoka Divarjitaha. So what is the meaning? If one properly follows, okay, one of you can read the translation, can just go and read. Okay. Somebody can read the translations. I think I have unmuted.
If
Yeah.
one properly follows the instructions of the Bhagavad Gita, one can be freed from all the miseries and anxieties of life. One will be freed from all fears in this life, and one's next life will be spiritual.
Yes. So this is not an end, right? So we all think this life is, this is the only one life. No, there is many lives. We don't know that we will learn in Bhagavad Gita. So here Krishna says, whoever follows the instructions can be freed from fears, not only in this life, but also in the next life. Yes, Mataji. Okay. Gita-dhyayanashīlasya pranayama-parasya ca naiva santi hi papani purvajanma kritani ca.
If one needs Bhagavad Gita very sincerely and with all seriousness, then by the grace of the Lord, the reactions of his past misdeeds will not act upon him.
Malenirmojanam pumsa jalasnanam dine dine sakrit gita bhasisnanam samsara malanashanam.
One may cleanse himself daily by taking a bath in water, but if one takes a bath even once in the sacred Ganges, water of Bhagavad Gita, for him the dirt of material life is altogether vanquished.
Gita sugita kartavya kimanyai shastra vistaraihi ya swayam padmanabhasya mukha padma vinisruta.
Because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one need not read any other Vedic literature. One need only attentively and regularly hear and read Bhagavad Gita. In the present age, people are so absorbed in mundane activities that it is not possible for them to read all the Vedic literatures. But this is not necessary. This one book, Bhagavad Gita, will suffice because it is the essence of all Vedic literatures, and especially because it is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So because there are so many Puranas, we have so many Puranas, so many scriptures. So there's no need of reading so many things. It is not possible, and it is very difficult, right, to go through so many other scriptures. So here, Sri Shankaracharya says that Bhagavad Gita alone is enough to that gives the all knowledge, because this is directly spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mukha Padmat Padmanabhasya. Mukha Padmat means from his mouth, the lotus mouth of the God. Bharatamrita sarvasvam Vishnurvaktra vinisritam Gita gangotakam pitva punarjanmana vidyate.
One who drinks the water of the Ganges attains salvation. So what to speak of one who drinks the nectar of Bhagavad Gita? Bhagavad Gita is the essential nectar of the Mahabharata, and it is spoken by Lord Krishna himself, the original Vishnu.
Sarvopanishado gavo dogda gopalanandanaha partho vatsa sudhir bhokta dugdam gitamritam mahat.
This Gita Upanishad, Bhagavad Gita, the essence of all the Upanishads, is just like a cow, and Lord Krishna, who is famous as a cowherd boy, is milking this cow. Arjuna is just like a calf, and learned scholars and pure devotees are to drink the nectarine milk of Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, so this Bhagavad Gita is also called as Gita Upanishad, which is the essence of all the Upanishads. So here Bhagavad Gita is compared to a cow, and the Lord Krishna is the cowherd boy who is milking the cow. And who is drinking the nectar? It is Arjuna. Arjuna is the calf who is drinking, and also all of us, like whoever is listening to the Gitas and the pure devotees, are drinking this nectarine of Bhagavad Gita. Ekam shastram devaki putra gitam eko devo devaki putra eva eko mantras tasya namani yani karmapyekam tasya devasya seva.
Let there be one scripture only, one common scripture for the whole world, Bhagavad Gita. Let there be one God for the whole world, Sri Krishna. Let there be only one hymn, one mantra, one prayer, the chanting of his name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Let there be one work only, the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you for listening. Okay, so I have a question now. So who is what is the name of founder Acharya of ISKCON?
Prabhupada ji?
Yes, Srila Prabhupada. Very nice. So what is the abbreviation of ISKCON? ISKCON.
International
Krishna consciousness.
Krishna consciousness.
Krishna consciousness.
International Society for Krishna Consciousness.
Yes, very nice. International Society for Krishna Consciousness.
Krishna Consciousness.
Yes. So the 18 days that we are going to learn the Bhagavad Gita is based on the teachings of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, so who is the founder Acharya of ISKCON. So we will know, before we go into the chapter 1, we'll a small intro about Prabhupada. So how was his journey, right? So I'll just keep you muted. Whenever required, I'll unmute you. So this is Prabhupada, and this is Prabhupada in San Francisco in 1972, Jagannath Rath Yatra. Like after he went, I think it's after 6 years of his at the at the age of 70, he goes to West. Okay, so we'll just see about his childhood and okay. So this is Prabhupada. Prabhupada, when he was just 6 years old. Okay. So that time, I mean, Prabhupada was born in West Bengal, Kolkata in 1896. So his father was Gaur Mohan Das, and his mother is Gaur Mohan De, and his mother Rajni. So his father was a cloth merchant, and his mother was a housewife. So basically, he was born in a Vaishnava family. Like his father was a very pure Vaishnava, though he had a very cloth shop, and he used to come late night. But then after coming home, he used to perform all the pujas, aarti, and he used to chant on his beads and worship. And he used to read Bhagavad-Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and all that. And Prabhupada has grown up seeing all that. So how his father used to perform. And even Prabhupada had deities of his own, of Radha Krishna, at very small age of 5 years. So he used to also do all those things, all the rituals which was done by his father. So that's how he grew up. And when he was just 6 year old, we can see here. So he asked, he had heard from his father that 400 years back then, when Prabhupada was there. So his father said, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, and who has given this, who started the Sankirtana movement in Jagannath. So he had he used to participate in the Jagannath Puri Yatra. He only started the Jagannath Puri Yatra. And recently also, I don't know if a few of you may know that there was a Jagannath Puri Yatra, and huge, millions of people gathered there every year. So it's then Prabhupada wanted his own chariot. So he asked, and then his father gets in, and he, along with the other children, for 8 days, they do the Rath Yatra, and all the parents, like all mothers, they make all the sweet bhog for the Lord, and they all distribute it. So this was Prabhupada. And Prabhupada, when he was 22 years, so he goes to, one of his friends says that there is one renowned sannyasi who is in the village. So why don't we go and meet? So actually, Prabhupada had seen from his birth, there are many sannyasis used to come to his house, and Vaishnavas. So every time his father used to tell, please bless my son, please let him get blessings of Radharani. Because and few sadhus were not really very austere. So he has seen them smoking and having other habits. So Prabhupada was not much interested. So he said, I'm not interested in seeing any sadhu. Then his friend says him, no, you please come once, you can come and see. And then when he forced, he goes there, and when, to his surprise, when these two people go, and Prabhupada had a very good command over English, and he studied in a Scottish college. So that time, so Prabhupada was in Gandhi movement. He was like that time for independence. So he was very much admiring Mahatma Gandhi. And he goes there, and when he hears them, though immediately Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj is a spiritual master. So he says that you young people, you have to go to West and preach the Krishna conscious. So he was surprised. And then he asks, then he says that Prabhupada puts two questions in front of him. He says that currently independence is very important for our country. So that I am very busy in that. So then his spiritual master says that this is more important. If you're doing something good for humanity, then you have to take it the Krishna consciousness, because this is a real seva that you are going to do for a person. So you are going to help a person how he has to leave his body in this life, or how he has to prepare himself for the next body. So everything else in this world is temporary, he says. And then he says one has to know what is the purpose of his life, why is he here in this material world, and what is the relationship with the eternal relationship that he has with the Lord. So Abhay was really struck with this boldness, his speech. And then one more question he says. Actually, Prabhupada, very early age, at the age of 24, when he was married already. At the age of 22, he got married. So he already 4 years in marriage, he had one child also. So he says, how can I do now? Because I'm married and I'm a grihastha. And then his spiritual master tells him that Krishna consciousness is for all, for a brahmachari, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasi. So then that with so much conviction, he said, Prabhupada immediately accepts him as his spiritual master there only. So after that, in 1933, he accepts as he takes initiation. And Prabhupada, here we can see like many years. He was, and even in 36, like his before, I think in the 36 and 37, his in the letter, his spiritual master also expressed him that again he has to go to West and preach. But then Prabhupada always thought that let me first preach in India. Let me earn more money, and then with that money I can go West, because it's not easy to go to West, right? You need a lot of money. So Prabhupada wanted. So 40 years Prabhupada tried to preach Krishna consciousness, because usually in India, people know about the Lord, right? The Krishna, Rama, everybody grew up worshipping the Lord. So still then it was not easy for Prabhupada to make people to take into Krishna consciousness. So this was in Jhansi, where Prabhupada started League of Devotees, and then he was preaching there, but it didn't run for a short time, because the place was given by the governor of the state, but then the governor's wife, she takes over and she makes it as a ladies club, and Prabhupada could not continue there. And this is Prabhupada where he was for his Back to Godhead magazine. So he was printing this book and he was not even having anything. So at the age of, Prabhupada had a very nice chemical factory, and he was doing good business, but suddenly what happens, his factory get fire and everything is lost, everything burned to ashes. And Prabhupada was literally on road. And then he understand that this was a signal, this was from Krishna, that I have to completely now involve in Krishna consciousness. So then Prabhupada, it was in 44 where he wanted to to print the magazine. He didn't have money. So most of the time what he used to do, after the paper is print, after it is published and sold, whatever the money he could get, that he used to give to the printer. And for some time it went. And then later even the printer said, sorry, I cannot do that, always on the credit. So it had stopped for a few years in between the Back to Godhead magazine. And this is Prabhupada once meets Lal Bahadur Shastri, then Prime Minister of India. And he was very much impressed by the Bhagavad-Gita he proposed. And he says that if he want to implement that in all the schools and college. But unfortunately, in 1 year time, like he died. So that could not, after that, whoever came, the Prime Minister, they were not supporting this. So this was Prabhupada, this is a Jaladuta ship. This is basically a cargo ship in which Prabhupada went, because he didn't have any money. Somebody sponsored him, Sumati Morarji, one lady, she sponsored his trip, and Prabhupada just had 40 rupees. Can you imagine? Just 40 rupees in hand. And with all his, whatever books he has written, he had written Bhagavatam, 3 cantos. So those things, the 3 books, he took with him many copies, so that he can sell those books and make money, and he can do a living. He was so much sure about his spiritual master. He had predicted that you have to go there and preach, and on belief on Krishna, he left with just 40 rupees in hand. But it was not so easy, because it's a cargo ship. Everywhere you see only the water, right? You get that water sickness. It's not easy. So it's a 3-month, 90 days journey, and Prabhupada gets 2 heart attacks. And in the second time when he gets heart attack, it was so painful. He prays Krishna, that Krishna, if you so desire, because I have come here to preach this Krishna conscious to the people in West. So they are all in a mode of passion and mode of ignorance. So if you wish, please keep me alive. So then for Prabhupada in dream, Krishna comes and shows all the avatar of the Lord. And the captain of the ship, next day, he says that, after the trip, he says, never in his life, in 20 years of life, he saw such a smooth journey. Like it is said that there were no waves, because it's the Atlantic Ocean, so much of waves, but then there was no waves after that. So that was all Krishna's mercy. And here Prabhupada sitting in Tompkins Square Park in USA. So he was doing kirtan because for a lot of many months, Prabhupada didn't have a proper place to live also. And he was doing kirtan and alone sitting with his mridanga, and he was doing the kirtan. And many of that time, the hippies were there. Hippies movement was going on in America. Like the government was forcefully making the hippies to join the army, and they were rebelling. So many youth were rebelling against the government, and they used to take intoxicated and they were taking drugs and everything. So these people, they got attracted towards the music. Like Hare Krishna Prabhupada, from the afternoon 2 o'clock till 5 o'clock, he used to do the kirtan. Many people gathered there, and from them, some of them became like by chanting, they got so purified, and they used to listen to Prabhupada classes and slowly. Like in 65, Prabhupada goes to US, and by 66, Prabhupada established ISKCON in USA. So that's how from them he made devotees, few of them very serious devotees, and that's how ISKCON grew. And this was in West Coast, Prabhupada in a mid of jazz band. He is doing the Hare Krishna mantra. So, I mean, there also, it was a nightclub, but then all people also were dancing in ecstasy for the Hare Krishna mantra. And here, he's a disciple, George Harrison, Prabhupada's disciple, who was the owner of music company called Beatles Group. Then it was very famous. And because of him also, I mean, he made so many kirtans, and because of music also, it gave more popularity to ISKCON those days, because those music were played in many of the other countries, many countries. And here Prabhupada in Russia. So Russia, you all know, it's a communist country. It's not easy to spread. So Prabhupada, when he goes, like he was wearing his normal, the sannyasi dress. So usually all his disciples, they were all in coats. And Prabhupada, the immigration officer, stops him and he takes him. And then, but then he leaves. I mean, usually they don't allow, because they don't allow to preach any religious thing in Russia, because they're communist. But then the disciples are surprised, like they left. So Prabhupada says that because even in their heart, there is Krishna is there as Paramatma. So he allowed them to leave me. So, but then they warn them that whatever the book he has, he is not supposed to teach anywhere. And then Prabhupada observes in Russia that most of the churches were closed. So he feels very bad. Like people are actually religious. They're all like, they all have that feeling. I mean, they want to pray God, and they're all, but then the government is not allowing them. What the government used to do, they used to stand behind outside the churches, and they used to keep the bread. And whoever used to go to church, they would say that, okay, what did you pray God? You prayed for bread. Did he give you? So see, I am the one who is giving you bread. Why are you praying the God? So you have to pray me. So that's what they were doing, and many of the churches were closed. And Prabhupada, it was so strict there, he couldn't preach anything in Russia, and hardly 3 days left. And suddenly, what happens, and it's a plan of Krishna. So one devotee, one disciple comes in. So where Prabhupada was staying, and his disciples were there outside. So he asked, like, I want to meet the Beatles owner. So Beatles, this person was there. So then they come to take the cassette, Beatles cassette. So he says that, okay, we have a person who made the Beatles owner, the devotee. We have a spiritual master. Why don't you meet him? So then that person was interested, and he comes and meet Prabhupada. And to him, Prabhupada 3 days continuously gave the knowledge of Bhagavad-Gita. And he was so much interested. He got the taste of that Bhagavad-Gita, and that person, I mean, all the Xerox copies were made and given to him. And in very short time, Russia became #1 actually in Krishna consciousness. So with that one person, somehow struggled, and he spread the Bhagavad-Gita, I mean, the Krishna consciousness. So this is Prabhupada. In 1944, he found this Book of Godhead magazine, and Prabhupada speaking to many of the famous people in the wherever, in whichever country he is, when he used to go to morning walk, he used to meet the people and he used to explain about the Krishna consciousness. And these are many of the Prabhupada books which uh, we have. Prabhupada has written more than 60 books. So we also, yeah. So you can see this is the Bhagavad Gita as it is, English. So if anyone of you don't have this book, I request you to please go for it, because this you will never regret if you buy one. So this is having a detailed word-to-word meaning of all Sanskrit, and also detailed purport for every shloka. Prabhupada has given a detailed purport. Okay, and we will share this in the group. And this will cost, along with this, you'll get 2 more books and 1 Japamala, which will together cost you 600 rupees. So book Bhagavad Gita as it is, and perfect question, perfect answer. And there is one more, Science of Self-Realization. These 3 books you will get. So we'll share the link in the group. And so we'll see the ISKCON temples around the world. So this is Prabhupada Palace of Gold, West Virginia, USA. Bhaktivedant Manor, UK. Ukraine, this is Russia. And then Durban, South Africa. So this is coming up in Mayapur, West Bengal, India. So this is under construction. I think in another 2 years, it will get complete. So this is actually called as Temple of Vedic Planetarium. So Prabhupada want to show exactly how our planetary system is placed, the 14 planetary system, and he want to show to the world how everything is already there in our Shastras. So there are, I think, 7 story it is. It's very huge, and it's coming up. So we all have to once visit there. I mean, we had been recently from ISKCON Mangaluru, last year they had kept this Mayapur Dham. We had been there. So this was going on, construction is going on there. But still there is other temples also. You can still visit there. And so this is Prabhupada journey. You can just see. I cannot play the audio because there is some copyright. So just please do see the screen. So you can see here how Prabhupada is traveling in a year, how many countries, and everywhere he is spreading the Krishna consciousness. So from 65 to 77. So from 65 to 77, 12 times around the globe, 25 countries visited, so many times. In a short time, and Prabhupada made 108 temples in the span of 10 years. And from 40 rupees to 40 crore. So let's bear obeisances once again. And only with their mercy, we'll be able to understand this Bhagavad Gita. So our temple is located in Mangalore, Sri Sri Radha Govind Temple, Coconut Garden Road, Tollgate, Kadri, Mangalore, Karnataka. So our temple president, His Grace Namanishta Das, is BTech IIT Kanpur. So iskonmangaluru.com is our website. And this is our YouTube channel. You can subscribe. And also there's a new temple which is coming up in Kulai. So, and I think in another one, because currently we are in a rented property, and in another 1 year, the temple will be up. So Bhagavad Gita is an epic scripture that has answer to all our problems. It was considered a spiritual dictionary by Mahatma Gandhi, and it is a book of inspiration for many leaders across the world. So Mahatma Gandhi say, those who meditate on the Gita will derive fresh joy and new meanings from it every day. So it is said, even the people, devotees, if we see like who are there more than 20, 30 years of practice also, they also get new realizations. Because when you read first time, you may not understand. But then when you keep on reading, so many times you get that, you keep on getting realization. Even sometimes we don't see that. And when you read that again, you get a new realization. It doesn't happen with the mundane literature, right? If you read again, you don't get that. But that is the speciality, because this is a transcendental literature. So Einstein says, when I read the Bhagavad Gita and reflect about how God created this universe, everything else seems so superfluous. So why ISKCON Bhagavad Gita as it is? So message of Krishna must come via an unbroken chain of disciplic succession. So whenever we, how do you know like which is the authentic Bhagavad Gita? So there should be a disciplic succession. So there is from Krishna, it comes to Lord Brahma, and Lord Brahma to Narad Muni. And then like that, in disciplic succession, Prabhupada is the 32nd Acharya, and his guru is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj. So always, it's just like an example given of a charger. When we connect the mobile to the charger, if there is any disconnect, if it is wire is got cut, you don't get that proper charge. You cannot charge your mobile, right? So similarly, if it is not coming via disciplic succession, then there is chances, many chances that it is adulterated. Like persons give their own opinions. Because there are 600 Bhagavad Gita available in market, and many people, many philosophers, the politicians, everybody write the Gita. So how do we take it? So whenever we join our children for some to a college or school, right? We see, we investigate like how good is the school, and we check how that, does they have all the facility, is it registered, and all that. So similarly, even when it comes to spirituality, we cannot just pick any book. So you have to see if it is coming from a disciplic succession. So our Bhagavad Gita as it is, we belong to Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. Gita is a vast book. A systematic study of the Gita will take about an year. In 18 days, we can't do that. So we are focusing on the flow of thoughts between Krishna and Arjuna. What is the objective? To prepare one for a deeper study of Gita. So basically, this is a level 1. So after this, you are going to have, every day for each chapter, you have to take the quiz, and we'll share those details in the group. So after the quiz, so every quiz you are supposed to get 85% marks, and no worry, there is unlimited attempts you can take. Okay, if you go wrong, again you can take. And end of the 18 days, you will get the certificate. So after that, you are going to have level 2, where in deep you are going to learn in Bhagavad Gita. More shlokas will be covered. Most of the shlokas will be covered. and then level 3, level 4, and it goes till Bhakti Shastri. And then we prepare you, like once you do level 3, and so you can also take the classes, right? Like how I am taking, you can also spread. So that is the mission actually of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Yare deko tara kaho Krishna upadesh, means whoever you see, you have to preach about Krishna, about the Bhagavad Gita. So Arjuna Vishada Yoga, Arjuna's yoga of lamentation. So this Bhagavad Gita is a part of epic Mahabharata, right? Mahabharata has 700 verses, and Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata has 1 lakh words, and 700 verses are the Bhagavad Gita has. So this is a part, and okay, I'll just now unmute you all for some time so that you can also participate. Okay, who are the two families? Like, why did this war take place? Who are the two families?
Pandavas and Kauravas.
Yes, Pandavas and the Kauravas. So, in brief, why did this happen? Because they were son of the Kuru dynasty, right? They all belong to Kuru dynasty, but then Pandavas' father Pandu dies at a very young age when the Pandavas were very young. So it was told to Dhritarashtra, because he was blind, he could not rule the kingdom, and it was handed over. So until they come to the age, the maturity, so till then he will take that he will take care of kingdom. But then when they came, he didn't wanted to keep. So because Dhritarashtra wanted only his son to be the king, he didn't hand over it. So which actually belonged to Pandavas. So and then Lord Krishna also goes for a peace talk, and he says that at least 5 villages if you can give, right? So because for a Kshatriya, he cannot, without having any kingdom, he cannot live. He has to have some kingdom. So he asked for a 5 village, but then Duryodhana denies, saying that even a pinch of a point of land I cannot give them. So that is why they had no other go, and this war had to happen. So this is a story of a bird, okay, like for a faith. So how, like whatever we learn, we hear, first we need to have faith in it. Otherwise, we will not be able to get everything. Like in Bhagavad Gita also, if we hear Bhagavad Gita with faith, it is not a story or it is not a myth. It is all history which has happened, okay? And it is true. So we need to have, because this Shastras are called as Shruti Pramana. So we have to understand by hearing. So not by experiment, it is not possible. So whatever Lord says, we have to accept and take it. So here a story of a small bird, a sparrow, and once a sparrow, he had laid 4 eggs near to the this ocean, and the ocean takes away all the eggs. And the sparrow is feeling sad. It's shouting that, please give my eggs back, please give my eggs back. And who will listen to it, right? No one. The ocean is least bothered. And what does he do? He takes out a little water. He want to dry it up. Can you imagine that? He want to dry it up. He takes a drop, and he is trying to dry the ocean. But then everybody starts laughing him. Whoever sees and are laughing. But then from the heaven, a Garuda sees. He's passing through, and he sees there that a small bird is trying so hard. By seeing its faith, he was moved. He comes down and he helps. And then he says that he gives a warning to the ocean that you return those eggs, otherwise I will dry you up. So then the ocean is get afraid, and he comes and gives the eggs back. So that is a faith. Like when we really have faith, Krishna will surely protect us, right? So that's how we put faith in the materialistic world also. Everywhere we put our faith. Even when you go to a doctor, you take medicine, what is the guarantee that will cure you? But we put some faith. So similarly, in words of Supreme Lord, we need to put faith, and we have to understand Bhagavad Gita in that way. So what are there are 5 sections. Dhritarashtra's inquiry, Duryodhana's fear, blowing of conch shells, Arjuna's observation, Arjuna's reasons not to fight. So after seeing observing the army in the battlefield, I mean both like the Arjuna gives the 5 reasons, and then he gives up that he can no more fight. So with that, this chapter ends. So actual Bhagavad Gita, the Lord speaks from the next chapter. So the 3 people. So who are these 3 people? Can you tell me who is this? Can you identify the characters?
Dhritarashtra Maharaj.
Dhritarashtra,
Yeah, Dhritarashtra.
Arjun.
Arjun,
And
Duryodhan.
Duryodhana.
Duryodhana.
Sanjay.
Yes. So this is Duryodhana. So we can see 3 different expressions, but in the same field. The situation is same, but the way the people looking at it are different. The way how you pursue a situation. This happens even in our lives, right? The situation is same. Some person sees the positive aspect of that, and some sees the negative. Or the way how we handle situation are different. It different. Why it happens? Because of the gunas we are in. Because he is in a tamo guna, it's mode of ignorance, complete ignorant. He don't know, like unnecessarily he is giving a way for war, right? This is tamo guna. And Arjuna and this Duryodhana, he is very greedy. So this is a mode of passion. And he is in a sattva guna, very compassionate. He is compassionately seeing that how can I kill all my men? So this is a 3 people's reaction we can see here. So the first shloka, Dhritarashtra uvacha dharmakshetre kurukshetre samaveta mamakav pandavaschaiva kimakurvata Sanjaya. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after assembling in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, what did my sons and the sons of Pandu do, being desirous to fight? So why is he asking this question? Because obviously, when you have assembled to fight, you have to fight, right? But then what is the question? So here, 3 significant words in the shloka. Dharma Kshetre refers to a place of pilgrimage. So where even the devatas used to come and do the sacrifice. And it is compared to the boiling milk. So we usually do like during the special occasions, especially during the Gruha Pravesh, housewarming. So this is considered as a auspicious Dharma Kshetre. So Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre. So here Mamaka Pandava means what? Mamaka means my people. Means Kauravas and Pandavas. Why is he differentiating here? Because everybody belonged to Kuru dynasty, but then he don't want them to be considered because he don't want to give any of his property to the Pandavas, right? So he's differentiating here by calling them as my people and Pandavas. So here we can see when you put in the milk, if we put lemon, what will happen? It will break, right? It will curdle. So that is why it is shown this picture here for that. And Kima Kurvata. So basically when the sweet is made, so we can see a rasgulla. Somebody comes to your home and you offer them a sweet. We don't ask, right? What did you do with the sweet? Obviously, if you have given, they will eat it. So it is like a irrelevant question. Kima Kurvata means he's asking, because it's a concern of Dhritarashtra that maybe the holy place influence his children, and maybe if they agree to give the kingdom back. That was his concern. 1 second. Sorry. So how is Dhritarashtra looking at the battlefield? So can you post in chat? How is he looking at? So how is he able to look at? Because this is Sanjaya. Sanjaya has got a divine eyes from Vyasadev. So Vyasadev is a spiritual master, and Sanjaya was a minister in the Dhritarashtra's kingdom. So Sanjaya, because Dhritarashtra was blind, but he wanted to see, Vyasadev wanted to see him what is happening in the warfield. So that is why Sanjaya was given the divine eyes. And with the divine eyes, he was able to see what is happening. So that's what he starts explaining what is happening. So how is he looking at the okay, anxious, worried? Yes, because yes, all are right answer. Joshi, Rahul, yes, Raj, yes. So he's very anxious, right? He's very, because he is not sure whether he's afraid that what will happen, whether whether my children, his Kauravas, will give up the kingdom. So what is Dhritarashtra's mindset? He is doubtful because of the Kurukshetra. It's a place of dharma. How will our army win? Because he knows that they are on a adharma, path of adharma. They are irreligious. They have done everything by cheating. He knows everything from very, when they were small, they tried to kill Bhima, right? By giving poison, and they wanted to set fire to their house. They sent him to a house which was made of the wood which would catch fire. So they did all those things, and they insulted Draupadi in the assembly. So he knew that they are on adharmic path, and since it was Kurukshetra, it's a place of pilgrimage, he was afraid. Maybe we may not win. So that was his doubt. And what fear? He was unfair due to attachment. His overly attachment to his son. Because whatever all misdeeds which Duryodhana was doing, his father was supporting him. Had he not supported, it would have not become so big, right? It would have not, Duryodhana, he never stopped. Whatever Duryodhana was doing, he supported all his irreligious things. And he was partial, mentality of me and mine. So, aham mameti. So this is the mentality of Dhritarashtra. He was very partial towards his son, and he is very material mindset. So Dhritarashtra, attachment versus affection. So Dhritarashtra had attachment towards Duryodhana. So what is the difference between attachment and affection? You can post your answers in chat. So what is difference between affection? Yeah, okay. Vidya Shruti Devi Dasi Mataji says attachment means little possessiveness. Okay. And what is not sure, but attachment leads to greediness. Yeah, what is difference between attachment and affection? What is affection? What is attachment? So I like to see more answers. Please do participate, everyone. What is affection? Okay, attachment, few of you have told. So what is affection? Affection is lovable. Okay. Attachment, Dhritarashtra overlooked the misleads. Yes. Affection means concern and care, maybe. Okay. Affection is lovable. Attachment is blind inclination. Affection is love. Okay. Affection is out of love, and attachment is just physical. Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone. Nice answers. Yeah. So basically, what happens is, like, when a person is attached to someone, he really does not see what is good for him. But in affection, like for example, if a child is using a mobile, okay, so if a parent is very much attached, if a parent is very much attached, that's what we see nowadays. Parents also have become a puppets in the hands of children, right? You give it the child without thinking what is that going to do good, but immediately we want to make the child stop crying. But what will a real parent, if a parent is really affectionate, what would he do? He would not mind if a child is crying now, but he knows that, okay, if he throw tantrums, he will not mind. But he knows that if I give, then he becomes addicted and not good for him. So it cannot be like you can always make him happy all the time. But then that is affection. So attachment you should not have. What Duryodhana had towards what Dhritarashtra had towards Duryodhana was a attachment, not affection. Affection means Vidura. So Vidura was a brother of Dhritarashtra, and he was a minister in his council, right? He was a minister. in his kingdom, and always used to come and guide, and he used to tell like, you have to take care of your son because he's not going on the right path. So you have to guide him. But then he heard him, but then he was ignoring. He was not really taking seriously. So when Duryodhana hears this, that Vidura is giving instruction during just before the war, that you have to tell your son. And then he insults him in the assembly, and Vidura leaves to pilgrimage. Actually, when this Mahabharata war happened, Vidura was not there. He was not a part of war. He went on a pilgrimage. And when he comes back again, he counsels back. And he says, magically, what happens that time? All are dead. Dhritarashtra was again in the, that time, Yudhishthira Maharaj was taking care of the kingdom because they won, Pandavas won, right? So he was staying with them very happily. Again, he was treated as a king. And by seeing that, Vidura gets so angry, he condemns him that, aren't you ashamed of eating in your enemy's house? So, but then somehow he gets realization and he leaves the home. So that is what is the affection. Affection is for good. Attachment is not good. So attachment is, we should not have attachment towards our children. It should be only affection. So now compare our mind to Duryodhana and ourselves to Dhritarashtra. So basically, our mind, Hare Krishna. No voice? Am I audible now? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes.
Oh, okay. That was some old message. Yeah. So compare our mind to Duryodhana. Okay, we are very much attached to our minds, right? So, and ourselves to Dhritarashtra. So it is like, I am Dhritarashtra and my mind is Duryodhana. So you put yourself into that, right? So what do you think? Are we attached to our mind? Are we affectionate towards our mind? So the mind says, you're going on street and something you want, something you see attractive, something is gratifying your eyes. Immediately we want to buy that. Oh, please buy that, right? It can be to eat, or it can be shopping. So what we do? Yes, Karuna Mataji, attached, right? Yeah. Now I'm affectionate earlier. Okay, Hema Mataji, very nice. So you're affectionate earlier. Your attachment is from mind. Affection is, okay, I'm not asking it is from where, but basically, are we attached? Are you attached to your mind or not? So we are attached, right? Most of us, we are. It is not easy to we say like, I'm not attached to mind. Because if somebody tries to correct us, or if we are doing something wrong, if somebody tells something, we don't feel good. We cannot take that advice. We cannot correct ourselves because we are attached to our own mind. I feel that I am right. How can that person correct me? How can he say right? So, right? So this happens. So most of the time we are attached to our mind. So just like Dhritarashtra. So is there a relationship between dissatisfaction and adharma? So Dhritarashtra had a dissatisfaction, right? What was his dissatisfaction? Because he was blind. So actually Dhritarashtra, God gave him everything. He had a very beautiful wife, and she was so chaste that she voluntarily agrees to be blind. Like she covers her eyes because her husband could not see. Even she, though she had eyes, she chooses to close. She kept her eyes closed by cloth, right? And then he had a father like Vyasadev, who is an incarnation, Sakshya Vesha Avatar of Lord himself. So Vyasadev, and he had a minister like he has a council of Vidura, and he was living in a palace. He was living in a very beautiful palace. So everything he has, only problem he had was he was a blind. So why? So there, it is there, right? Whenever there is it is said like we always have to count on our blessings, right? If we don't count on our blessings, then what happens? We start to see only the defects in our life, just like Dhritarashtra. So though we have everything, we are only seeing like there's a when it's there, no, like when is a half cup empty or half cup full. It's like either you're seeing, the person can say half cup empty or half cup full. So it's based on the mindset, the person's mindset. So what does it lead to? When you see only on the half glass which is empty, then you start to do what is others having. You're not seeing what good things you have. You only see the things that you don't have and they have. Then that's how the dissatisfaction comes into picture, right? So this dissatisfaction. Okay, let me see any answers. Many times we are attached. Okay. So okay. So basically, yeah. So this dissatisfaction only led to destruction of his own family, right? Or he lost all his 100 sons, Dhritarashtra, and this is because only of his dissatisfaction. Had he been on path of dharma, if he is always happy and satisfied in life, right? Then there would not have been any. I mean, the war would have not taken place. So actually, we have to be contented and we have to be grateful to God, whatever God has given to us. And if any problem we get in life, we have to take that like, okay, I have done something in the past. Okay, for that I am getting this karma. So let it be. But then if you go on doing good deeds, then that will also go off. That whatever we have done the sins, and when we take shelter of Lord, so God will take away all the sinful reactions from us. So, but then we should never be envious, and we should always be grateful in life. I mean, have a gratitude towards our life. So, has he rightfully handed over Yudhishthira? What would have been the result? So, what would have been the result had he rightfully handed over?
Peace.
Yeah.
Happiness.
Yeah. So, what would have happened? Yeah. Will this war would have happened if he had rightfully handed over? No. What do you think? Would there be a war?
About Gita.
Yeah, no war, right?
No war.
No war means no Gita.
Yes. Yes. So, yeah. Thank you, everyone. Please mute yourself. I'm echoing. Okay. So, yes. So, it says that in Bhagavatam, Yudhishthira Maharaj, like after he got into, when he got this kingdom, so then Bhishma and Lord Krishna tells him that he has to take over, but then he doesn't agree. Then Bhishma orders him that he had to take. And then with the blessing of Dhritarashtra, he goes and takes his blessing, though they have done so much things, I mean, for them, still he goes and takes his blessing and then only he accepts. And it is said that every day he used to go to Dhritarashtra and he takes care. He used to ask, how is he doing and about him, everything. So he was taking care so well of Dhritarashtra. So it very sure that had he rightly handed over to Dhritarashtra, war would have never happened. That somebody said it was all God's plan. Otherwise, Gita would have not come, right? So now, Pashyetam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyuda Drupada Putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. So now here, Duryodhana is viewing he views the army. He's observing the army of Pandavas, and he comes to his Acharya, Dronacharya, and what does he say? Oh, my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. So he says here that he is surprised because they were on exile for 12 years and 1 year incognito. And how is it possible? Because they had, Kauravas had 11 Akshaonis and Pandavas had 7 Akshaonis, decent one. He never thought, and it was very nicely arranged, expertly arranged. And who had done that? Drupada's son, Drishtadyumna. But here he is mentioning, instead of directly taking the name Drishtadyumna, he is calling that son of Drupada. So basically, Drupada and Dronacharya were friends, and they had some political fight. And what happens? So because in that political fight, Drupada, he prays, he does a sacrifice and he begets a son to kill Dronacharya. I mean, Dronacharya, and then he sends his son for military, learning this skills to Dronacharya. And being a Brahmin, liberal Brahmin, he does not say that I can't give this military secrets. He taught him everything. So here Duryodhana is saying that, so you have done a stupid thing in past. Knowing that you will be killed by Drishtadyumna, you have taught him all the military secret. So that is why he's saying, by your intelligent disciple. Okay, that is what he means to say here. Yeah. And also he was, Duryodhana also stressed that he cannot do that leniency with the Pandavas, because for Dronacharya, Arjuna was favorite and he liked him and he liked all the Pandavas. So he was indirectly, so we can analyze the behavior of political behavior of Duryodhana by how he behaves. So you can see calling Drishtadyumna Drupada Putrena, son of Drupada, in order to make sure Dronacharya would not be lenient this time with the Pandavas. He wanted to say that. So don't show that lenience and then we may lose war, right? He mentioned all the great heroes from Pandava's side so that Dronacharya would take the war seriously. He says all of them are equal in fighting to Bhima and Arjuna. So these are the many shlokas which we are not mentioning here. You can go back and refer the Bhagavad-Gita. So we'll not be able to go through those. So here few of the shlokas from there we have taken. So while mentioning the names of great heroes from his side, he first mentioned the name of Dronacharya even before Bhishma, who was eldest, because by mentioning the name of Brahmana before mentioning the name of Kshatriya is an acceptable etiquette. So you can see how like a real politician he is speaking. He further mentioned the name of Kripacharya, Dronacharya's brother-in-law, and Ashwathama, Dronacharya's sons, as chief captains. He mentioned the name of Vikarna. So who is this Vikarna? Duryodhana's youngest brother, and he was the one who stopped, like when Draupadi was dragged in the assembly and he wanted to strip her naked, right? The Dushyasana and Duryodhana. And that time he was the one who opposed not to do. So he wanted now his support. So now Vikarna has to support him. So Vikarna, he is calling Vikarna as Maharati. Why? Because he wanted his support, because he supported Pandavas then. So in order to inspire him to fight on his side, because he was, yeah, so you can see here. He said, there are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake, well equipped with weapons and experienced in military science. So he says that Tyakta Jivita means all of them are ready. So he's very proud that people are ready to give their lives for him. Our strength is immeasurable and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas strength of Pandavas carefully protected by Bhima is limited, because he always thought Bhima is not clever enough. But still he knew that if he would be killed, it would be from Bhima. Aparyaptam is the term used here, which means complete as well as incomplete. So very cleverly he used the word. Dronacharya heard the army as incomplete and Bhishma heard it as complete. Thus the expert diplomat Duryodhana encouraged both Bhishma and Drona, commander-in-chief and military guru, with one word, Aparyaptam. So as per the Vedas, there are 6 types of aggressors. Okay, means as per Vedas, you can kill if these people, as poison giver, an arsonist, one who attacks with deadly weapon, a thief, one who occupies another land, the one who kidnaps another wife. So Duryodhana, poison giver, we know that Duryodhana fed Bhima poison cake, and yes, Duryodhana arranged for a house of Lac to be built for Pandavas and conspired to have it ablaze while they slept poised to attack. And Shakuni cheated in a dice game and plundered all their wealth. The Kauravas then occupied the Pandavas' land. Finally, they stole Draupadi by foul means, once during the dice game and once when Jayadratha attempted to kidnap her. So there's a word called Atatayinaha. So Atatayina means aggressors. So actually Arjuna says, even I don't want to kill the Atatayina, means the aggressors. There is no sin if you kill any of these people, it is said in Shastras. But then Arjuna didn't want to do that. Saghosho dharta rashtra-nam hridayani vyadarayat nabhascha prithivim chaiva tumulo vyanunadayan. The blowing of these different conch shells became uproarious and thus vibrating both in the sky and on earth. It shattered the hearts of sons of Dhritarashtra. So when everybody has the conch shells, so before the war starts, they blow the conch shells. So there are many conch shells mentioned. And anybody knows what is the name of conch shell of Arjuna and Krishna? What is the name of conch shells of Arjuna and Krishna? You can post in chat or you can unmute and say. Panchajanya and Devadatta, yes. Panchajanya is of Krishna and Devadatta is of Arjuna, right? So, but it is said that when Kauravas blew, nothing happened. But then when Pandavas, especially the Krishna and Arjuna blew, it shattered their heart. So what is shattering of heart shows? It is a sign of bad omen, right? Like before, jo dar gaya wo mar gaya, you see that saying, right? So basically, if you're afraid before even the war started, that means it's a sign that they're going to lose. So what is it? Why does this happen? Can somebody say, why does this happen? That why the shattered, it shattered? They were aware of the power of Pandava's side. Yes. As others, please. Yes, it's a divine. And it was Lord himself, right? It was Lord himself. Krishna was present. So we all know Pandavas won. So can you name some of the reasons? There are 9 reasons that were the signs of victory for Pandavas. Can you name few of them? You can post. Yes, Pandavas were right. What are the some of the reasons? What are the signs that Pandavas won? Dharma, yes. They were on the side of Dharma. Dharma Kshetre, Kurukshetre, right? It is. Truth. Lord was on their side, yes. So that is the right answer. Lord was on their side. And then we'll see quickly. So Dharma Kshetra. So Dharma Kshetra, it was on a, so because they were already on the path of Dharma, so it is a sign that when Krishna is there, Krishna is always on the path of Dharma, who was religious. Krishna says, right, Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyuddhanam dharmasya tadatmanam srujamyaham. So whenever there is a decline of religion, I myself appear, millennium after millennium, Krishna says in chapter 4. So Dharma Kshetra it is. So obviously it is a phase of Dharma. So they are by nature pious people, dharmic people. So there's a sign that they will win. And divine chariot. So this chariot which is having, it could go in any of the direction, and it's gifted by the Agni, the sun god. It's given by Agni. And then what are the next? Kapidvaja. So you can see this Hanuman flag. Yeah, sound of conch shells, Hanuman flag. Yes, good answer. Yes. Yeah, 5 horses will not come. It's 4. Yeah, Kapidvaja. This is a Lord Hanuman flag. So Lord Hanuman taken a very humble position here, because in the previous yuga, in the Treta Yuga, he was because he helped Lord Ram to win over the Lanka, right? And kill Ravan. So here also it shows that when Hanuman is there, then victory is there. Shankanada, yes, somebody mentioned conch shells, blowing of conch shells, which were transcendental. And Gandiva, this Gandiva Pashupati Astra, this was given by Lord Shiva to Arjuna. So this is also, so the arrows would never go, empty there. So whenever he wants to take, it would be always there. So he would never go. And then, yeah, Yakta Jivita. So this is told by Duryodhana, means giving up of life. The people are ready. to give up, give their lives to me. So that means it's a bad omen before the war started. So it happened on a day, Mokshada Ekadashi, which is also auspicious, and Bhagya Lakshmi. Bhagya Lakshmi is goddesses of fortune. So wherever Lord Narayan is there, God Lakshmi is there, right? So if Krishna is there, obviously the Bhagya, the fortune, is on the side of Pandavas. And Rishikesha, the god himself. So Rishikesha, anybody knows what is the meaning of Rishikesha? Rishikesha? Yeah, controller of senses and mind. Okay, he's a master. Krishna is the master of senses and mind. So these are the 9 reasons. And these are different symptoms of Arjuna's body due to soft-heartedness, compassionate nature. Okay, I'll take another 10 minutes, okay? Sorry, because we went into intro and it took some time. So different symptoms of Arjuna's body due to his soft-heartedness, compassionate nature. So his limbs were quivering, mouth drying up, whole body trembling, hair standing on end, Gandiva bow is slipping, skin burning, legs unable to stand, mind reeling. So why does this happen? Because of the bodily attachment. When a person is very much attached to his relationship, I mean bodily relationship, then what happens? These symptoms come. This also happens when a person is in a spiritual ecstasy also. But then what is the difference? Then fear is not there. But here there is a fear. It is because of stress. So these are the 5 reasons which Arjuna gives: compassion, no enjoyment, sin, family tradition, and indecision. We'll just go through every shloka. Arjuna uvacha drishtve swajanam Krishna yuyutsam samupastitam sidanti mama gatrani mukancha parishusyati. Arjuna said, my dear Krishna, seeing my friends and relatives present before me in such a fighting spirit, I feel the limbs of my body quivering and my mouth drying up. So here he says that he cannot take up the war, right? Because when he sees the army, he sees that only his family people are there. His acharya is there, his teacher, his great grandfather. Everybody are standing opposite to him, right, in the enemy side. So his grandson, his friends, all his kith and kin. So he says that by seeing their spirit, I'm not able to. My limbs are shivering. न च श्रेयोनुपश्यामि हत्वा स्वजनमाहवे न कांक्षे विजयं कृष्ण न च राज्यं सुखानि च. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I, dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. So now he is giving a reason that, so earlier was for compassion, he's compassionate, and now he's giving a reason, no happiness. So what am I going to do by winning this battle? Even if I get 3 world, I mean, in exchange of this, I'm not interested, because I don't see any good. Why should I do it? Because we know if we want to enjoy, okay, if you want to celebrate, you need your family and friends. Without them, with whom are you going to enjoy, right? Can you relate to Arjun? Okay, so these are the things which Arjuna is giving reasons. Papameva shayedasman hatvaitana tatainaha tasmanarha vayam hantum dhritarashtan svabhadnavan swajanam hi katam hatva sukhinasya madhava. Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of goddesses of fortune? And how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? So he says that we will get sin. So this is the 3rd reason he gives, that if we kill our own people, then we will get sin. How can we be happy by killing them? Kulakshaye pranashyanti kuladharma sanatanaha dharme nashte kulam kritsnam adharmo abhivatyuta. With the destruction of dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of family becomes involved in a religious practice. So actually, what is he seeing? Because you see the great quality of Arjun, because he is not taking decisions just like that. He is thinking about, I mean, even to kill, he is thinking before taking any action. If before fighting, he's thinking that if I kill, what will happen? Like all the soldiers will die. What will happen to their children? What will happen to their wife? So there are many shlokas. It explains like how, like when the elder of a family he dies. So what happens? The religious thing, like there is in a Varnashrama dharma, there are certain rules, regulation to be followed for each dharma. So all those tradition will stop because nobody is there to guide them. And what will happen to the wives? They don't, because women and children need protection. And when the protection is not given, women get, I mean, there is no protection for women, and the society, they misuse. And then what happened? Women is not chasteful, then they give birth to the unwanted children who are called as Varna Sankara. He calls them as Varna Sankara, who would create havoc in society and who would not do any of the religious things which is required. And the rights, the final rights of the parents or the ancestors, everything will stop. So this reason he is giving that this will give rise to destruction of a dynasty. Now, this is from next chapter, but since this is a part of the reason, 5 reasons, indecisiveness. So now he says, Nachaitadvidma kataranno gariyaha yadva jayema yadivana jayeyuhu yaneva hatvana jijivisamaha devastitah pramukhe dhartarashtraha. Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. The sons of Dhritarashtra, whom if we killed, we should not care to live, are now standing before us on this battlefield. So now actually he's confused. Should I really kill? Because he's getting so many reasons not to kill, not even a single reason. He says, Nacha Shreyon Pashyami, means I don't see any good by doing this war. I see all the bad omen. There's a sin and there's a family tradition will go. There's no enjoyment. For what are we killing? I better beg and live, right? So these are the reasons which he gives. So compassion, no enjoyment, sin, family tradition, and indecision. Sorry. So these are the, we have come to the end. So Dhritarashtra, it started with Dhritarashtra's inquiry, what is happening in the war field. And then Duryodhana's fear. By seeing the army, he comes to Dronacharya and he says that, can you see the army, how well they have arranged, right? And then blowing of conches from both the sides, where it shattered the heart of Kauravas when Lord Krishna and Arjuna blowed. And Arjuna's observation. So these shloka numbers you can see, and accordingly you can refer in the book for detailed explanations. And then Arjuna gives the reasons and he gives up. He puts his Gandiva down and he finally says, I cannot fight Krishna. And that's how then in tomorrow's the Gita will begin. So this is the set I was talking to you all about. So this is a Bhagavad-Gita. This is a science of self-realization, and this is a perfect question, perfect answer. You get one Radha Govind photo laminated, and you get a japa mala and a bag and this mantra. Okay, and this is a 600 rupees, includes the packing and transportation, and in a 1 week or 10 days you'll get the books. So this is a certificate which you are going to get. So when you register, you need to register. I mean, you have already registered for the course, but for the quiz, again, you have to register. It's very simple. You have to log in. We give you the details in the group. So log in, give an email ID, give a password, which is easy to remember. You can also give your mobile numbers, no problem. Whatever you give, you remember. And then you can just take the quiz, okay, every day. Okay, thank you. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha ananta koti vaishnavebhyo. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. So
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
So any questions on
Hare
today's
Krishna,
chapter?
ma'am.
Yeah,
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so
So
much.
any
Krishna.
questions? Yeah, any questions on today's chapter you can ask. Hare Krishna. Any questions on Hare Krishna, Ajay Prabhu? Thank you. Okay, any questions on today's chapter? Yes, Aarti Mataji, you can unmute. Aarti Menon Mataji, Hare Krishna. Okay, Mala bag. Okay, I will show you. Okay, I'll just show you. Yeah, see, this is a bag. Okay, I mean, this is my different bag, but this is how it is. There's a small, there's a big. You can see here we have two gaps here. So basically, to put our two hands. Okay, you can keep the bead here inside. So this is a tulsi bead which I'm having. So I'll just show you also. So this is the called as head bead. So with this we chant Panchatattva mantra. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. And then you say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And like that we go all complete, and till the end when you come here, this will be the 108 bead, 108 bead. So the second round will start from this bead. The last bead will become your first bead. Okay. So this again you have to say Panchatattva mantra and then come this side. So how do you keep? We keep this inside this bag, and you put your hand like this and one finger, because we are not chanting on this finger. So this is how, with this finger, middle finger and the thumb. This is what we use, and to put this outside so that we should not do chanting with this. And this is to put like this, okay, on neck while walking, or you can also tie to your waist like this while walking. So it's so that because it is protected, the bead, because it's the bead. Okay. Okay, Aarti Mataji, you had some question. Okay, Raj Prabhu, is it fine? I answered your question. What is the purpose of this bag?
Krishna Mataji. Actually, Vindhya Mataji has asked how to wear Tulsi Mala. That means she is asking for Kanti Mala.
Yeah, Kanti Mala, you have that like any other chain, Mataji. You can wear that. Okay. But you are not getting that Kanti Mala in that bag, I think. I don't think so. You're not getting that. Okay. Rohit Kumar.
Mataji has so many questions actually.
Yeah. Okay, you can ask. Yeah.
I am reading out those questions.
Okay. Sure.
Arjuna says that if they fight the war, the woman will be polluted. Then also she wrote, in this modern world, how does that happen? And what can we do to prevent this? Also, Mr. Sorry,
your voice is not come. I'm not able to hear properly.
Yes, Mataji, are you listening now?
Yeah, yes.
Mataji has asked actually, if the woman will be polluted, what are the ways to prevent it in modern times, and how they are polluted?
Yeah, because see, women are basically, they are like children. Prabhupada says, like they are like innocent, and they can be cheated very soon. Okay, that is why they need protection. So women in Vedic age always, it is like she should be in a protection of parents when she's small, and when she's married, in protection of her husband, and then when she grows, I mean old, so then the children will protect. Otherwise, what will happen? It will like, it is very easy for her. Like she believes everyone very soon, so that can get misused. There will be a people kind of like a bad people in society who can misuse. That is why it is mentioned.
Raj Prabhu has written that I am allergic to Chandan and Tulsi. Do we have beads of any other material?
Yes, we have this. The bead that you get in this package is a neem bead. Okay, neem beads.
Rohit Prabhu has given answer actually, and unnecessary urgency will come out. Thank you, Rohit Prabhu.
Yeah, that I think I just answered now. It's the same, right?
Yes. That means all the questions have been given.
Okay. Anybody else has any question? Other question you can ask. Okay. Raj Prabhu. Answer. Is any other question? You can unmute also. I think we have kept everyone unmuted. You can just unmute. Because no questions? Yes, Savita Mataji, Dr. Savita Mataji. Hare Krishna.
I just want to thank you.
Okay.
That's it, nothing else. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Okay, why do we wear Tulsi Mala?
Yes.
Okay. Kanti Mala, it is actually for our purification. And Tulsi, like even, actually we have to follow the 4 regulative principles to wear a Tulsi Mala. Because Tulsi is very dear to Lord Krishna, right? You please Tulsi and Lord Krishna also will be pleased. There. Hare Krishna.
There is no question.
Okay. Okay. So no other questions, then can we close? So then see you all tomorrow. So can we all chant 3 times Hare Krishna? You can all unmute. Say Hare Krishna 3 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare,
Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you so much, everyone,
Thank
once
you so
again for
much.
joining.
Thank
Please
you so
do
much.
continue till 18 days. Please don't leave in between. I really request all of you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Saurav message. It sounds like women are saying. It is not like that, Saurav Prabhu. It is not like they are viewed like that. See, we cannot just pick 1 or 2 shlokas. And also, but even in 10th chapter where Krishna says that in women, I am the fame, I am the intelligence. I mean, there is a shloka which Krishna speaks. It's not like that. It is basically women need protection. And that is because by nature they are soft. So that is it. Okay. Hare Krishna.
Mataji wants to ask any question, I think.
Yeah, who is that?
Gita Mataji.
Yeah, sure. Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, you may put your question now. He had raised her hand.
Yes, Aarti Mataji. It happens to everyone actually. Yeah, recording session will be shared in the group. Sure. And I can just post here also. We can just copy it and. So this is the link. Okay. Okay, thank you everyone for joining. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.